Buffalo, are you ready? Buffalo, are you ready? I'm going to steal a line from Mr. Jake Padre over here. If that opening doesn't make you want to run through a wall, let me know because I'll replay it. I'll jump the volume up another few notches. Let's go. Jake, are you ready?
That was freaking unbelievable, Mike. You teed me up for it. You were teasing this for a while. You said we had a new intro come, a little countdown, and then you didn't. I mean, you sort of alluded that you were going to do a little explosion effect, but freaking love that. I mean, that was just even Sean saying loves the new opening. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's go.
Way to bring it back. Cheers. I didn't even want to. I mean, I just opened my beer right away. I mean, I was ready to open it up while we were waiting for that thing to end. Here we go. We're ready. We're less than 24 hours away, boys.
Man.
Wow.
Less than 24 hours away. James, are you ready?
I'm ready. That did not disappoint. You talked it up, followed through with it. That was awesome.
Well,
Incredible.
you know who else I don't want to disappoint is the Buffalo Bills tomorrow night. And we're going to get into that show. But we got some cool things. First of all, we need to announce that Ryan Redline, we found him, the winner for the Titans, 2 tickets to the Titans and the gift card, gift card it was. We found him. He's happy. He's going to that game. And again, Jake, hopefully we can you can meet up with him, take some pictures.
Yeah.
But Jake, there's a rumor going around Nickel City Mafia.
Is there really?
There's a rumor.
Interesting.
And the rumor is we got another giveaway going on. Is that possible? Didn't we just give away a couple tickets?
Boy, yeah.
What am I hearing here?
Mike, they always say the fullback on the team is one of the most accountable on the team. So I just want to say, I channeled my inner fullback, although I never played it. And, not a lot of glory or anything like that. I'm trying to remain humble about it. But we did have a sponsor that we linked up with. And, boy, I mean, Gorilla Garage really came through. And we got some tickets. We got some new tickets, another giveaway for the Sunday Nighter at home against Green Bay. I mean, that game, that's going to be unbelievable. I mean, listen, if you missed out on the home opener, Ryan, I know you won. It's a great thing. You got another chance here. So, I mean, it's going to be a great one. Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen, are you kidding me right now? Going to be incredible.
I mean, look, we said after the giveaway last time that if we were able to work with another sponsor, it was going to be, we were going to be getting tickets. We're going to try to get tickets and send people to games because it was heartbreaking. When we gave away those tickets to Ryan, I felt so bad for so many people. They had tried so hard to get into it, all the great stories. And here we go. We're doing it again. So thank you for staying with us and helping us grow the show. And thank you to Gorilla Garage Gear. I'm going to play a little promo. Is that all right? Can I play a little promo about these?
Hit it, baby.
These guys? Let's go.
Nothing beats a Gorilla Garage floor, the ultimate floor coating system. Our secret ingredient, a slow cure solid epoxy mortar used to repair and prime the surface. Then we grind it, vac it, coat, color, scrape, and seal it. And with dozens of colors to choose from, your Gorilla Garage floor is the toughest on the market. Visit GorillaGarageGear.com or call 715-6927.
Go, go, Gorilla!
I absolutely love that. That is amazing. I mean, so many good reasons to go with Gorilla Garage Gear. A couple years ago, I wish we had somebody out here in California like, I'm going to call him Triple G, Gorilla Garage Gear. And because we were looking to do our garage, we just couldn't find someone reliable. And man, if they were out here in Big L or you told me go with these guys, I'd have a beautiful garage right now. And I don't. And there's so many good reasons to do this. Protection is a big one, right? You get to, if you have some concrete that's kind of cracked and going bad, they kind of fix that. Then they put this beautiful coating over it. I mean, it takes it to the next level. It's like showroom, right, Jay? It's like showroom.
It really is. Yeah, especially if you're like a vintage car collector or anything. I mean, even a man cave, Mike, they've done basements. So that would be nice to have down here. I mean, we got, your foundation. Sometimes you get some cracks in it and whatnot. They could fix all that. I mean, make it look real nice. It does take it to another level. And they don't just do floors. They do cabinets. They do a little bit of everything. It's all well-engineered stuff. My parents actually had their garage done by them as well.
Oh, wow.
Joe is the owner of the company. He's a fantastic guy. He stands by his word. He has an engineering background himself. So all this stuff is designed by him, and it's very well done just across the board. So can't thank them enough. I mean, just an incredible opportunity, again, for our channel supporters to win some tickets.
Yeah, I mean, their website's right there on the screen there. Go check it out. I was so impressed. And then I read the story about how they got to where they are now. So fantastic. Yeah. So thank you again, Gorilla Garage Gear. We can't thank you enough, and I know the members of the channel can't thank you enough. So let's get into it. I mean, we are less than 24 hours away, guys, from kickoff. Man, I mean, you know, I'm going to this game. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Me and the boys are going to head out early, probably wait till after traffic dies down around 10 o'clock our time. And we're going to head to LA, get there early, try to find some Bills backers places. I don't know. We expect to meet a lot of fans, and we expect to take over the stadium. I sure hope, at least. But let's get into our show. Let's talk about some notable injuries. And I mean, Trey White, obviously, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know this, which you should if you're a Bills fan, but Trey White is out for the first 4 weeks. Yes, that's going to have a huge impact. He's out for at least 4 weeks. I want to clarify that. That's going to have a huge impact for sure. But we do have a lot of faith in the guys that we're going to talk about in a little bit. On the also on our side here, let's see some of the other injury notes that we have was. Let's see. Who else did I say? Tommy Doyle's questionable with a foot injury, and Quentin Morris is questionable with a hamstring. As far as the Rams, Van Jefferson has been ruled out because of a knee, so that's kind of big for them. That's going to help us out a little bit. But let's talk about the changes from the Rams last year. And Jake, I mean, I'll throw it over to you to start. The Rams, Super Bowl defending champs. In their opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, getting a little disrespect, being the underdog at home and being the Super Bowl champs. But talk to me a little bit about some of the changes from their Super Bowl team to where they are now.
Yeah, I would say across the board, looking at that Rams team, I mean, minus the loss of Von Miller, they've really upgraded at just about every position other than, and I'll say even Andrew Whitworth, too, the left tackle. I would say outside of those two, they made a lot of upgrades. I think Allen Robinson is actually an upgrade over OBJ, and I might be crazy saying this, but I think Allen Robinson is criminally underrated, and I think he's going to have a hell of a year. That guy is a sleeper, especially in fantasy. If you're doing fantasy, that might be a guy to consider taking in that like 6th, 7th round. He's going to have a nice year, I think, for them. In addition to that, they upgraded from Troy Reader. They got Bobby Wagner at middle linebacker. Now, listen, I know Bobby Wagner's in his 30s, but the guy is still playing at an elite level. And he came there for one reason and one reason only, and that's to win a Super Bowl. And to go from a division rival to another, potential Super Bowl contender division rival, it's like, it's a crazy thing, man. I mean, it's that says a lot to me. As a veteran like him, he wants to win a ring again. So I feel like he thinks there's a shot there. The defense is still pretty damn good. I mean, you lost Von Miller, you brought Bobby Wagner in. They still have Leonard Floyd. They still have Jalen Ramsey. They got Troy Hill at the nickel corner. That's a pretty solid team across the board. And I'll tell you what, I mean, listen, I think the Bills end up coming out with a victory here, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But the Rams are nothing to sleep on. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be tight. They are not just going to roll over for us.
Absolutely. So Von Miller, like you mentioned, Eric Weddle was somebody they had also on that Super Bowl team who's not with them this year.
Yep.
And those are veterans that there's a lot to say about having veterans like that on your team. So now you say they upgraded a lot. Yeah. Allen Robinson 2 years ago, was it 2019 and 2020, almost 100 catches each of those years. Fantastic. Last year struggled, but you can probably toss that out because it was mostly because of the quarterback he had thrown to him, the offensive scheme that they were running. And so expectations from the Rams fan is he's going to be right back to Allen Robinson from 2 years ago. And if that's the case, oh man, watch out. Scary stuff. OBJ, I think definitely Allen Robinson is an upgrade there. And you can even say that Robert Woods, right? They had Robert Woods last year, and
they did have Robert Woods. That's a good point. Yeah,
that's the whole reason that they had to go and bring in like an OBJ later in the season, and then Bobby Wagner. I mean, just again, so to me, when you say there was a lot of upgrades, I feel like they were similar to the Bills in that, they had a good team already. Obviously, they're Super Bowl champs, and they just added to it. Do I feel that they upgraded substantially? I don't know, and I'll say this: yes, Bobby Wagner, definitely an upgrade, but you lost Von Miller. I think there's a little bit of a downgrade there, and they do have on their offensive line, which is we'll talk about this a little bit, where I think we might be able to take advantage. They have a new starting left tackle this year, and Joe Nopum, and at right guard they have Coleman Shelton. Now these aren't rookies; these are guys that were with them last year. They just weren't starters. So these guys are starting this year. You know, big game on the line, Thursday Night Football, little nerves there. Going against a guy like Von Miller, maybe we can take advantage there. Did I miss anything, James? I'm sorry. Did I miss anything on the Rams that you wanted to bring up as far as the team they had last year to the team they have now?
No, you guys covered it, and I think I agree with you, Jake. Allen Robinson, super underrated, slept on for no reason at all, really. He's just shown time and time again how reliable he can be. Huge upgrade to them, even over a guy like Robert Woods or OBJ. So, yeah, 6-time All-Pro Bobby Wagner. That's a nice pickup. And Jake,
unbelievable.
Interdivision to make that switch too. So he's on a mission, I'd say. So you guys covered a lot of that.
All right, cool. I do want to mention, I forgot to say this, stick around to the end of the show because we are going to give you the opportunity to get a guaranteed entry on that wheel for those tickets. Not only tickets, we are covering parking, right, Jake? We got that covered as well.
That's right.
Tickets and parking. We're going to get you a guaranteed entry if you stick around to the end of the show. It's a high risk, high reward where we're going to try to stump Jake. If we can't stump Jake and he gets the answer to our trivia question within the first 3 clues, anybody who leaves a comment from that point on in our live chat, because right now the contest is, hey, just leave a comment in the comment section and make sure you go watch the video that Jake put together as well, because you want to comment on that because you get potentially opportunities to get more entries. So stick around. It's going to be fun. Get to the end there. All right, well, let's go around the room here. And James, I'm going to let you start here. Talk to me about the key matchups in this game that you're most interested in watching and that you think is going to have a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
First one up for me is going to be the placement Sean McVay uses Cooper Kupp in, whether he's going to keep him in the slot or he's going to use him as an outside receiver. We talked about this a little last night. It's either going to be Cooper Kupp versus Teron Johnson or Cooper Kupp versus Dane Jackson, and then you're leaving Kaiir Elam or Christian Benford to cover Allen Robinson. So it's really going to be, for me, is that matchup I'm going to key in on a lot is where Cooper Kupp's usage is. And, McVay doesn't seem like a guy who's going to let Taron Johnson shut Cooper Kupp down, so he's going to probably go right after the rookies, and hopefully they can really step up tomorrow.
Yeah, if you watched the Rams last year, it was like, I feel like I'm going to date myself a little bit, but we all know Jerry Rice, same situation. Like, I always kept saying, they put 2 people on him. Like, how can you not stop this guy? Can you at least scheme? And I feel like Cooper Kupp last year was that guy. No matter what you did, you could not stop this guy. And yeah, if I agree with you, I don't know if I know he plays a lot out of the slot, where probably our best corner is right now, which is Taron. But I'd put him on the outside and test those rookies. I'll throw it to you, Jake. First of all, to comment on what James said, and then your key matchups that you're looking at.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more, James. I think it's vital to see where he is on the field, and they may just run him all over the place. I mean, he might play outside some plays. He might be playing inside it. They can kind of do whatever they want with him. He offers a really unique ability to play outside and inside like that. So absolutely going to have our hands full. I think the last time we played against the Rams, which I have playing behind me here, there were no fans in that game, by the way. That was 2020. But Cooper Kupp went over 100 yards, and I think 9 catches or 8 catches or something like that. So we couldn't guard him then, so hopefully we could figure out something for tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, one of those receivers is going to go off, and I guess it's just a matter of what they do and how they scheme it. But absolutely agree with that. That's a very good point. And, boy, we saw what he did last year, and it might be a repeat year for him this year. We'll see. I think for my matchup of the day, it's absolutely the Bills D-line versus the Rams O-line. Taking advantage of a young left tackle. This is where, listen, so the biggest thing that we addressed in the offseason, I think, is just having a pass rush, people that can actually get home, bringing in a guy like Von Miller, of course, facing his former team. Boy, we can really take advantage of those two Joe Notebloom and Coleman Shelton on the left side there. I think those guys can absolutely be exposed by our defensive line. So I look to see some big numbers put up by our D linemen tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, Eddie Oliver's got to be licking his chops right now. Von Miller, same thing. I mean, I think they are both in for a big day. And how about Greg Rousseau? Let's talk about him too. Boy, you want to talk about someone that's going to have improvement this year. Greg Rousseau, I think he's going to be a 10-plus sack guy. So that is my key for tomorrow, is just getting in the face of Matt Stafford and just bullying that offensive line of the Rams. That's how we're going to win tomorrow. That is going to be the main focal point, and that's something to really key in on.
I like it.
Quick thing
Yeah,
on
go ahead,
Rousseau,
James.
too. I just saw a little bit ago. It's just preseason, but he was the highest. He had the highest pressure rate on quarterbacks for the whole preseason. So I think the 10-plus sacks is right. It's coming right.
Greg
now.
Rousseau did?
Greg Rousseau led the
Wow. And
preseason.
there's no new news on Tim Settle just yet? Is he officially – there's nothing about him being ruled out just yet?
No. I didn't
Okay,
see
so
it.
that's
practice in full, and that was all.
that's another guy I'm super excited to see, man.
Yeah.
He's got unlimited potential. He sat behind like 4 first-round picks on that Washington D-line and really didn't have the opportunity to showcase himself. He had 5 sacks the one year, but he's going to be a problem in this league. I think he eventually overtakes DaQuan Jones as that starting other defensive tackle on our D-line there. But DaQuan Jones offers good value, too, because he could play nose. He could play pretty much any position on the interior there, which is great. So just a lot of depth, and, boy, we're going to be fresh, and we're going to be coming at him all day.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'll give you mine in a sec here. I just wanted to, recognize the folks in the channel, the Red, White, and Bills. Sean, love to see you. Kevin Chalker, nice to see you as well. Kevin's like, yeah, I heard that rumor too. Go Bills about the giveaway. My dad's out there. Hey, Dad. And then Chris Caldwell coming in a little bit with, how confidently can I start Isaiah McKenzie tomorrow in fantasy? We can answer that now, or we can kind of wait, because I was going to talk about him a little bit. So we'll wait a little bit. But Chris, if you're in a rush, I think he's going to surprise some folks. That's just me. So we'll talk a little bit more. I think you could confidently start him. Then Antonio, good to see you. Always good to see you out there. He says, so nervous for tomorrow. I mean, we all are. I mean, the world is expecting the Bills to win the Super Bowls. Either going to be the biggest disappointment in the history, and we've been through a lot of them, or it's going to be like the biggest celebration ever. So It's going to be interesting. For me, the key matchups that I'm looking at is this offensive line against the likes of Aaron Donald. And are they going to be able to run the ball at all? We talked about this line being better for the run. We're going to bring in some double tight end sets. And can we run the ball and give Josh a little bit of a break, right? Let's get this little bit of a ground game going. I know it's going to be super tough with Wagner and Donald. Not going to be easy to run at all, but I know we're going to try, and I would love to see that this new line shines. What we talked about, Roger Saffold, that line really gelled late last year. And if you think about it, I mean, we just added Saffold. We added a lot of depth there as well, but those core guys that finished the season, man, we were riding high going into the playoffs once we figured out where everyone needed to be, and adding Saffold. And now these 2 tight ends, we kept 3 tight ends for a reason. I know Quentin Morris is questionable. Hopefully he's able to get on the field. I don't even know if they're going to make more than 2 tight ends active. If they do, you know what they're going to be looking to do is run the ball a little bit. So that's my key matchup that I'll be interested in watching. We talked about it so much in the offseason, the training camp, and preseason, and here it is. Let's see what they can do against one of the best defenses.
I like it, Mike. I like it. I definitely agree with that. And we have a newfound running game, I think. This sort of dates back to the end of the year last year. And with those interior linemen and just being way better up front, and Aaron Cromer, who I will continue to say was one of the best signings of our offseason right there. Just bringing in a guy like that, the O-line's going to be – they're going to be something this year for real.
Yeah. James, anything to add there?
No, I agree, and we got Cromer from the Rams too, right?
Yep.
So maybe a little.
Yeah, we sure did. A lot of former Rams. Yeah.
A little advantage.
You got Roger
there.
Saffold even, and Von Miller and Aaron Cromer. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the depth matchup with our running backs versus their thin D line. They don't have like much depth on their D line, but hopefully we can wear them down with our newfound run game, like you said, Jake, and just run the clock out on them. suffocate them with the run.
that would be such a change from the past couple of years, right? It'd be
Yeah,
so
they
good
dare
to see.
Chiefs to run though, so we'll see.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll know early. So, all right. So let's go around the horn here and let's talk about, what is the approach? How do the Bills get this victory, Jake? And we're going to go around a couple times. We're going to talk about how the Bills get this victory and how we see the Rams potentially getting this victory. So, talk to me, Jake. Let's start us off.
Well, I mean, I sort of already mentioned it. It's the battle of the trenches, and it's so boring to talk about. But let's talk about what the Rams have going. On their offense. First off, they have a refreshed and I guess more healthy Cam Akers. You got to remember last year, I think it was an Achilles tear, and he came back in the playoffs. I think on the season, he finished with 5 carries for 3 yards last year for the Rams. So that is a guy that is definitely looking to have a little revenge tour, prove some people, why they drafted him and show that he is a number 1 back in the league. So that's a guy to certainly key in on. I'm very excited to see how our run defense adapts to the Rams. I think, talking about the D-line and talking about the pass rush and how much better we've gotten there, on the flip side of it, the run defense is super important too. So I'm curious to see how we play against the run and just being able to stop that, because Cam Akers can be dangerous and he offers a pass catching ability too for the Rams. So that's definitely a guy to key in on too. Linebacker play is going to be important tomorrow. You got Tremaine Edmonds in a contract year. So let's show up on the big stage. We just paid Dawson Knox today. I'm sure Tremaine Edmonds, he's got that marked down and he's going to be playing. He's going to be playing all year at a high level, hopefully. Contract years are always the biggest seasons for most players. And I think, he has an opportunity to shine. And whether he's playing with us next year or another team, it's basically an audition tape for him. So we need him just as much as we need anyone this year. So it's going to be very important just with the linebackers to stay disciplined and for Tremaine to finish plays, because that's been something that he's sort of struggled with over the past few seasons. I think the potential is unlimited for him. And I'm sick of using the excuse, well, he's young, because now it's time. It's, basically do or die right now. So, I'm really, really excited to watch him play too.
All right. I totally agree with all that. And my keys to a Bills victory is pressure and more pressure on Stafford. Now, Stafford he's not a Josh Allen. He's not a mobile guy. If you look at his rushing yards, he's a pocket passer. And he's a damn good pocket passer. So we're going to have to bring the pressure. I mean, we've been talking about it last year. This is why we got Von Miller. This is why we improved that interior defensive line. Let's get some pressure on Stafford. Hopefully he can throw. He threw 2 picks in the Super Bowl. And the game before that in San Francisco, he threw 1 pick there. So if you get to him, put some pressure on him, maybe we can get him to throw an errant ball and get a turnover there. So to me, it's that front line, putting the heat on him, because, again, we've already talked about it. Our corners are going to need help. Now, whether that help comes from those 2 amazing safeties we have, which I'm sure it's going to help out, it's going to also have to come from that defensive line. They're going to have to get the heat on Stafford. And I think both teams are going to be able to shut down the run. I think we're going to try. Obviously, we're going to try more than we've tried that in years past. But it's going to be difficult. Hopefully, we do have a breakout in the run game. But I really think it's going to come down to that pressure that we can get on Stafford. And again, he can't extend the play. He's not known to extend the play like a Josh Allen can. So to me, that's the key to a Bills victory. James, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, we all know what this offense is capable of. There's rumors that it's not going to go so well. Ken Dorsey, first year offensive coordinator, but I don't think there's going to be an issue with 17 at the helm back there. So it is to the defense, pressure, Mike, like you said. You add to the number 1 defense last year, you add the NFL's active leading sack getter across the league, Von Miller. That was the key to a lot of games last year, was not getting enough pressure to the quarterback getting the quarterback to the ground. We're going to do that a lot this year. Stafford threw 601 times last year, or he had 601 pass attempts last year. He's not a very mobile quarterback. He's trying to stick in that pocket and throw the ball. So I think that's advantage Bills, and get him down to the ground a lot tomorrow.
Nice. All right, I'll throw it back to you, James. Now let's talk about the flip side of it. How do you see the Rams winning this game? What do they got to do? Keys to a Rams victory.
Go toe to toe, outgun Josh Allen in the offense. It's going to have to be that. They're going to have to outscore us because they're not going to be able to stop us. So that's my key to victory, honestly, for the Bills for the Rams is just score more and just take all the points they can get.
So you see this being a real shootout is what I'm hearing.
I'm thinking it's going to be an offensive game a little bit.
Okay. All right. Jake, same question to you. What do the Rams got to do? Keys to a Rams victory.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're going to be getting a lot of pressure on Matt Stafford. I think it's inevitable. That offensive line is far less superior to our defensive line. So there's no doubt we're going to be in Matt Stafford's face. But there's a couple of guys on that offense that can be very sneaky. Tyler Higbee is one of those guys. And I have seen in the preseason at least, and I know our starters weren't in much, but I think a big key for the Rams is Tyler Higbee. You know, everyone's talking Allen Robinson. Everyone's talking Cooper Kupp. How about Tyler Higbee? This guy, he could play. I mean, he's someone that can get out in the open. He's very athletic. He's been there. He's done that. So I think that's certainly a guy to also focus on and, you know, not take advantage of you too much. I guess, you know, grand scheme of things, I'm okay if we shut down both Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson and let Tyler Higbee have a day because one of those guys is going to eat up. One of them is going to have to. But I think, you know, getting in the face of Matt Stafford, he's going to have to obviously look for shorter routes, more intermediate routes instead of, you know, looking for a deep ball or, you know, a more explosive play. So I think that's certainly a guy to key in on too. And kind of going back to the linebacker play, you know, the coverage, as far as our coverage goes with both those backers, both Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds, that's going to be very interesting to watch this season. So Tyler Higbee, that is one of my other keys to victory for the Rams. I talked about Cam Akers, talked about Tyler Higbee. But as James said, really what it does come down to is just outdoing Josh Allen. Josh Allen gives you a chance to win every single game. And what really let him down last year was his defense. So if you can outscore him and if you could pick apart the defense, take what they give you, the Rams can score points. So that's really, it sounds like such a John Madden statement, but just outscore the other team and go toe to toe.
Yeah, good points, both of you. For me, so what I have done, I always like to listen to what the other side's saying. So I listened to a couple Rams podcasts this week. I was actually trying to get a Rams podcast to collaborate with us and get on the show. And one of the guys, he brought some valid points. First of all, he was like, the Bills are talking like Gabe, the fans, Bills, it's mostly the fans. They're talking like Gabe Davis is the next coming of Cooper Kupp. He's like, pump the brakes. The guy hasn't had, I don't know what the most yardage that Gabe Davis has had. And he's like, everyone's basing that off that Kansas City game, the 13-second game. But we've seen him. I don't think this guy really has watched Gabe Davis under a microscope like we have, like we've seen him the past few years. Whenever he has, if you take away Emmanuel Sanders last year and you start Gabe Davis, I think Gabe Davis has a big year. He was injured, I think, a little bit early in the season, but we've seen him grow. And when he's on the field, oh my goodness, the guy makes plays. I think you were showing me some percentage, Jake, where, when he's on the field, something touchdowns that he has based on passes to touchdown percentage
insane.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's so the guy was like, pump the brakes. He's got a good point there. I mean, we are talking like Gabe Davis is going to go off, have over 1,000 yards. I don't know how many touchdowns you guys are predicting, but I'm sure it's up there. But I say to him, you just haven't seen him like we have. And will he, obviously he's not the next coming of Cooper Kupp, at least not now. Who knows? Cooper Kupp wasn't Cooper Kupp until Cooper Kupp was a gradual build, right? And last year was finally that breakout year, and maybe we'll see the same with Gabe. Obviously, he's not going to be the level of Cooper Kupp right now. So the guy said that. He also had another valid point. He said, look, and I think James mentioned it a little earlier, Ken Dorsey, offensive coordinator. It's a new offensive coordinator. We've been kind of keeping that under the radar, just assuming everything's going to be as smooth as it was with Dable. And I can't remember the references the guy made, but he said he pointed out a couple teams that were fantastic on offense, switched their coordinator, and tanked the following year. And he said at the very least, you would think there might be some hiccups early on, and it might take him a little while to gel. So he's got all valid points there. So for me, if there is any of that, the Rams are going to have to capitalize early, get off to a lead. They're going to have to obviously use the guy that no one can seem to stop, Cooper Kupp. They'll utilize him in all the ways possible. And I do not think they're going to be able to run the ball at all. Do I think we'll be able to run the ball? I hope so, but probably not. I think it is going to be Allen against Stafford. And I like our defense slightly better, but man, it's tough. So to me, the key is for them to get a victory is take advantage if we do get off to a slow start. Look what happened last year with the Steelers. Oh my God. We went into this game like, I remember saying it to my friend Troy. I didn't have Jake on the show yet. I'm like, Troy, is there any way we lose this game? And he's like, no, there's no way you lose this game to an aging Ben Roethlisberger. And we did. So I think if there's any getting off to a slow start, take advantage of that. And obviously that passing game to Cooper Kupp, it's their bread and butter. And they used it all through the playoffs. No one can stop this guy. I don't see them changing that. So that's, to me, is the key. Any thoughts?
Like it, Mike. Yeah. Go ahead, James.
No, I was just going to say, you said they're probably not going to be able to run the ball, Mike, and I agree. They were 25th in rushing last year, and they lost their veteran lineman, Andrew Whitworth, and they have two rookies starting. So, they haven't replaced or upgraded much. Cam Akers is due for one of those years where you're like, wow, where did he come from? That was cool to see, but I don't think it's going to be very much there for running for the Rams tomorrow. So, and Matt Stafford he hasn't thrown in a live game since the Super Bowl. So your first real, angry defense is coming at you. The Bills to be the ones that you're facing, that new Bills rush attack, I don't think it's going to go well for the Rams offensive line and their run game.
So the game starts at, I believe, they said 4:15, but it really doesn't kick off till after 5. I think they're going to raise the banner. So we'll be there to kind of, I'll probably cry during that time when they're raising the banner. Some tears will be shed. But so I think the kickoff is around 5, right? It's not at 4:15, I think. So just to be sure, make sure you're watching at 4:15, or I'm sorry, 7:15.
7:15. Yeah, it'll definitely be after 8, Mike. It'll be more like 8:20, I think, for a kickoff, just because it's first game of the season, and we'll have to listen to Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico, who a lot of people hate Chris Collinsworth. I could deal with them. I do like Mike Tirico sliding in for Al Michaels because he now went to Thursday night. So the broadcast is going to be fun to watch too. Shout out to those guys. NBC's got the first game of the year, like always. So
yeah. So we see Justin Bishop chiming in there with Dable was too one-dimensional. I think Sean says the same thing. He was very predictable. And then of course Red, White, and Bills also says Ken Dorsey has been with us. So yes, kind of a different situation. But again, he does say, I do anticipate small growing pains. And I hope they're very, very small growing pains because, again, we just don't know. You always assume that. But until they're out on the field, Josh had one series out there in a real game. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Very much so. So any other thoughts, guys, until we get into our score predictions for the game? Any other thoughts there that you want to share? Actually, I think, James, you were going to mention the news about Dawson Knox.
Oh, yeah. Jake touched on it. Dawson Knox is going to be here through 2026. Signed a new 4-year extension today. A lot of guaranteed money. Top 5. I think it's puts him top 5 in the league, tight end pay-wise. So, he sure as heck lived up to it last year. I feel like he earned what he's got coming. And Bean always has a way to kind of pre-beat the market because when he signed Milano, it was well undervalued for what the top linebackers in the league make, and I feel like this is going to be another deal. In a couple of years, we're going to see incredible value when Dawson Knox continues his growth.
Now, our friend from Red, White, and Bill, as soon as that news broke, he reached out to me and he kind of says, what does that say for Poyer? What does this say for Edmonds? I mean, do you think we're going to, the talk has been to get an extension for Poyer, but it's not looking like that's going to happen. And then there's been all this talk. I've been reading a lot of stuff about them trading Poyer, but I don't know, Jake. What do you make of this? And we asked this earlier. I think it was during training camp. I've heard reports that the Bills, no matter what type of season Edmonds has, they were ready to move on with him. I can't believe that. If the guy just goes out in his contract year and smashes it, Yes, it's going to be hard, but is there really a salary cap? I don't think there is. I don't know. Is there really a salary cap? Because
well, if there is, we'll find a way to get around
if there
it.
is, we said that like, man, we have no cap space, and look what happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me throw it to you. What do you think that says for Poyer and Edmonds?
Well, with that being said, you can't pay everyone. Jaquan Johnson is ready, I think, Mike. So it definitely, I think it puts Jordan Poyer on the hot seat, no doubt about it. And as much as I love him, as much as I think he and Micah Hyde are the best safety tandem in Bills history, again, you can't pay everyone. I think definitely got ahead of the Dawson Knox thing, of course. David Njoku really set that market. He got paid big time this offseason, and he's still making less than what David Njoku's getting paid. So, and I think Dawson Knox is a better tight end than David Njoku. But I think he's just outside the top 5, actually, James. I believe he's right at number 6 because a couple of guys are ahead of him. George Kittle, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, Dallas Goddard. I know he got paid too during the season last year. He's like $57 million for 4 years, maybe something like that. So, and I think Dawson is in line to have a breakout year. Finishes like a top 5 tight end this season. So, just in time. Again, Brandon Beane, an absolute wizard, gets it done. So I think he was foreshadowing and obviously saw the writing on the wall and knew it was going to eventually happen here. So had to pay him. So great move by him. Jordan Poyer in a different situation. Do safeties get paid as much as these other positions? Typically, no. There are special cases, of course. But also, Jordan Poyer's in his 30s. He doesn't have a whole lot of years left. I think 3 really good seasons left in him, potentially. But again, I mentioned Jaquan Johnson, and the Bills have a ton of faith in him. I think, what he showed in the preseason, obviously not playing against starting defense or starting offenses or anything like that, except for the Colts game, certainly showed that he's a ball player. So, I think we can at least feel good about the fact that we have a pretty solid backup that's up and coming. But you hate to see him go. Absolutely. I mean, and I think if you're prioritizing Jordan Poyer or Tremaine Edmonds, I say pay Jordan Poyer because having that help in the back like that is just, you can't put a price on it and you can't express how valuable that is. I think Tremaine Edmonds is a replaceable player as much as he presents the physicality that he is, not that he's a physical player or anything like that, but just the size and skill set that he presents, you could find a guy to replace him. So, I'll echo what Justin Bishop said. It's true. We hate to see Jordan Poyer go. Tremaine Edmonds has been notorious for not being in position, or when he is in position, he doesn't always finish. So obviously contract year for him, he's going to demand a ton of money if he does go off. And I think even so, he'll get paid. So, I would definitely prioritize Jordan Poyer over him. But again, you can't pay everyone. And then you got Ed Oliver too. That's another guy too. So, I think Brandon Beane will find a way. But if I'm prioritizing out of those 3 now, you throw Ed Oliver into the mix. I'm putting Ed Oliver at 1, Jordan Poyer at 2, and then Tremaine Edmonds at 3.
What do you think, James? Do you echo those?
Agree with that because, Poyer, like you said, 3 good years left. We should have him for all of them. Edmonds, Beane's already kind of tipped his cap towards, I think, with drafting Balen Spector. He's willing to keep finding replacements, I think, for a middle linebacker in Edmonds, and that could be our first round pick next year, or the second round pick. Beane will get a guy there that he's more comfortable with, I think, and we haven't seen enough from Edmonds really to warrant beating out a guy like Poyer even, but then you throw Ed Oliver, and that's just another huge gap between wanting to keep Poyer or I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Poyer or Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver.
Yeah. So Beane, my favorite word to describe him, you said, is a wizard. He's just a wizard. He's always doing something that you don't see coming. He's just always got something working. So it's exciting to see how he navigates through this. And I hope Poyer stays. I hope he doesn't want to bankrupt or go crazy here with our cap, but he hasn't not earned it, so that's a tough spot for Beane to be in. It's going to be exciting to see how he rolls out of it.
It'll be interesting.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting as the season progresses. Now I say this all the time. Contract years, people, guys flip a switch. This is their payday. I feel they should have that switch on all the time. But man, when I'm doing fantasy football, if I'm trying to decide between a guy and I see that he's in a contract year, I take him. They typically have a big day, so it'll be interesting, or a big season. it'll be interesting to see as the year progresses. If Edmonds is having a Pro Bowl season and he just kills it, he's picking balls off, he's making more tackles for losses, and a lot of that probably with that defensive line in front of him, it's got to help him. Now, if he doesn't have a big year, you're going to be saying, yeah, absolutely, he's out. But if he does have a big year, it's going to be interesting. I know we might change our tone a little bit later in the season if we see them. He's just killing it. He's athletic, gifted. I don't think anyone in the league has the athleticism that this guy has. Now, why he hasn't been able to take advantage of it, I don't know, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. And you're right. I would say if I had to prioritize, yeah, I'd like to keep Poyer. Just him and Micah Hyde, man, they're just so amazing. And bringing like Von Miller's doing with those young defensive linemen, I like what they can do with our young cornerbacks because we have so many good young cornerbacks, and they're going to need that veteran leadership. So I would also say Poyer for me as well if I had to prioritize. I do want to say, let's see here. I do want to mention what Zach had. I threw it up there, but we were rushing there. He says, my only fear with Dorsey is that if things get slippery early, that he will become a yes man for McDermott and try to overrun the ball. So interesting take there.
I would say the opposite, Mike, and here's why. Ken Dorsey is a former quarterback, and I'll tell you this. I think some of the most successful OCs across the league, we saw it in recent memory with even Kevin O'Connell, now the head coach of the Vikings. I think some of the most successful offensive coordinators are former quarterbacks, former NFL quarterbacks per se. And I think that's just because they know what Josh Allen's feeling. They know how these guys operate. They know what plays to run, what plays to call. And when times get tough, I think they are able to, I guess, not panic as much and sort of settle their starting quarterback. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a Brian Dable situation where you run the same run play 4 times in a row and just try to appease Sean McDermott and there's a power struggle or whatever it was, whatever the rumor was between that. I don't think that's going to happen one bit. I think Ken Dorsey is going to really trust in Josh. He's going to put the game in Josh's hands. I think he's going to give Josh a lot of freedom. And you see what happens when you give him freedom. I mean, being able to check at the line, being able to kind of call your own plays, that's huge. And I mean, with a weapon like Josh Allen, it's just super scary for opposing defenses. So I don't think that's going to be an issue one bit this year.
I have another one. We have Justin chiming in there. What about Motor? Another guy in his contract year.
Yeah.
And just another guy that I've been high on since he's been a Bill. And I know last year people were talking about Zach Moss being the guy, and it turned out that Motor was the guy. And again, this year, now they're talking about James Cook. I know my guy over here on the right, I think he's on the right of me, is Mr. Jake Podger, saying that James Cook is going to have more yardage, total yardage. And we have a little bet going on. It's going to be for a nice dinner somewhere, hopefully in Buffalo. But
maybe Barbell again, huh?
Yeah. He thinks James Cook's going to have a bigger year total yardage. I'm saying no. I still think it's going to be Motor. But Motor's in a contract year. To me, he's already flipped that switch. There's not a switch in that guy. It's always on. It's 100% all the time. Whenever that guy's on the field, he runs downhill, hard to bring down. I love his energy, and I don't think that changes this year. And I think he's going to have another, again, with that offensive line improved, he's going to have a nice season. Now, do you think we're going to want to pay him? So I think that's the question. What do you see? And somebody's saying that he's not going to demand much. I don't know what that much is to me. I mean, he's probably going to be, $4 million a year? I don't know. I'm just guessing. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
Boy, I don't know. I think Gus Edwards is making like $4 million a year, which is crazy because he's not even really the starter in Baltimore. So that's an interesting market. The running back market, I mean, it comes and goes. And I think if a running back has an opportunity to make some money, it's in his best interest to jump on it. So if there is a running back hungry team that wants to jump on him and offer him a big contract, I totally understand why he would take that. I think the Bills should not be in any rush to pay him a ton of money. Whether he takes a hometown discount, that's to be determined. But if another team slides in and offers him that $4 or $5 million a year, I mean, shoot, I don't blame him one bit for taking that. But I just think we have a lot of depth at that position. with James Cook, with Zach Moss, and my guy Raheem Blacksmith.
I was gonna say, I was gonna tee it up for you.
Now,
and your guy Raheem Blacksmith.
Yeah, I don't want to get too excited about it because we've seen a lot of guys that have come and gone. Mike Gillislee, Boobie Dixon, Carlos Williams. Man, the list goes on and on and on. And there's always those fan favorite backs that really shine for a couple of games and then they kind of fade out. So I don't want to get too excited about it. Obviously, I do think he's an NFL back and obviously showed us a lot in the preseason. But yeah, just kind of going back to the whole deal there. I think they obviously drafted James Cook too to eventually replace Devin Singletary, just because of his versatility. So will be interesting to see what happens with him. Do I think we overshoot and pay him a ton of money? No, because running back is definitely more replaceable than a lot of other positions.
Yeah, and we also have Zach Moss signed through next year. And I know a lot of people were disappointed with Zach Moss last year, but we learned of his injury, those pins in his ankles. And he looked pretty decent in preseason. But, we'll see how he looks in during the regular season. And so we have him through next year. We have Cook and, like you said, Raheem on the practice squad. But for me, I've always been a fan of Singletary. I think he's going to have a great year. And, yes, he's probably going to get a decent offer that we're not going to match. I just feel like the Bills won't do it for that position because there's some other people to take care of. And we have good replacements, I think. So, again, I hope we'd be able to keep him, but I don't think we will. James,
Agreed.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I like that he comes to camp every year in shape. It seems like he does what the team asks him to do in terms of, off-season programs or whatever. And he puts on weight, puts on muscle. He comes in, he just – last year or the year before to last year, he didn't have that explosiveness that we were looking for, that home run hitting speed. And I feel like, now or never for him if he wants that money. Get some home run balls going for him, get those legs moving, be the motor and take off with it.
Absolutely.
I love what Red, White, and Bills. So he's agreeing with me. Motor's going to win this bet. And he's like, "Where are you picking the dinner?" And yes, it's going to be Barbell for sure. I'm going to fly out there to Buffalo.
Nice.
Have Jake treat me to a fantastic night there. Last time we went there was awesome. We got to meet Isaiah McKenzie that night. We didn't even expect to, so that was cool. So good stuff there. Yeah, just to finish off on McKenzie, he's just a guy you want on your team. He stays healthy. Right, he stays healthy. What run? It's hard these days. Moss hasn't been able to stay healthy. I hope to goodness that James Cook stays healthy. Mr. Brian Label's out there. Love it. Good to see you, Brian. And I just think he's a guy you want on your team. I mean, just like you said, James does whatever is asked of him, no questions, and he'll make plays. So we'll see. Good to see you, Brian, coming in there late in the game, but perfect. I love it. We're getting right. This is where we're going to do our predictions. We're going to go around the room, and I'm going to let Jake go last because he always brings like the whole commentary. So we're going to need a little time for him. But I'll start with James. James, give me your prediction for the game.
I went back and forth on the Rams number. I say Bills 36, Rams 17. I jumped back and forth 17-24 for the Rams. But just going back to last year, Bills 17 points per game allowed throughout the whole season, lowest in the league. They haven't lost irreplaceable guys on defense. They've gotten much better on defense. The ability to pressure and sack a quarterback has a lot. 163 yards a game given up last year, first in the league too. So I feel like it's going to be a tough day for the Rams and the defending champs all around.
Okay.
36-17 Bills.
Whoa, 36-17. If that's the case, I'm going to be excited because I'm a little older. My heart just goes a little crazy. And if it's a comfortable game, I'm going to be super excited. I don't think it's going to be that comfortable for me. I think it's going to be lower scoring than most people are thinking for the reasons that we kind of talked about. Like, this is the first time a lot of these players are getting game action. And I think there'll be a little bit of a slow start there. And these defenses are extremely good. So, and typically the defense has the edge early. So I think it's going to be a little lower, not too much lower. I think it's going to be 28-21 Buffalo. That's my prediction there. I'll throw it over to you, Jake.
Okay.
Give us that commentary. Let's go.
I'll give you the commentary. I'm going to feed it to you right now. So, Mr. Brian Label, Brian Dable, Appreciate you. He must think this is South Dakota State, Iowa. I don't know if you guys watched that game over the weekend. There were 2 safeties in a row. It was like, I think it was 5-3 at one point, and then it was 7-3. I mean, absolutely electric. Love seeing that out of a game. Defensive battle. Big Ten football is back, it's safe to say. But first off, 2 explosive offenses, definitely. The defense for the Bills, I mean, we are fine-tuned. We're going to get to Matt Stafford all day. I have been the biggest Matt Stafford truther throughout his entire career. I think the guy epitomizes grit. In fact, hold on one second. Hold on one second, guys. I got to show you something here. We have this trophy for our fantasy football league. It's called the All Grit Trophy, and I want to show you. There's a sticker here right on. Whoops, I'm hitting stuff. There's a sticker right on there. I don't know if you can see. Matt Stafford is on there. And that's because everyone in my league agrees with me, not just because I'm the commissioner, but also because they felt he was worthy of being on the All Grit Hammer. And I have so much respect for that guy. I love him to death. But guess what? We got a guy named Josh Allen. And Josh Allen gives you a chance to win every damn game on the schedule. So we're going to go out there. We're going to rain on that Super Bowl parade. I guess part 2 of the parade for them, where they bring the banner out. There's going to be tears, as Mike said. People are going to be excited. It's going to be emotional. Sure, it might start a little slow. They might take us into the third quarter with a tie game, 21-21, because that's what I think is going to happen. But then the fourth quarter is going to hit. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a punching match, and we're just going to smoke the shit out of them. Pardon my French. I'm sorry.
Hold on. I've never heard Jake cuss before. This
I
guy,
had to do it.
He is super excited. I mean, I've never heard this.
I'm pretty tied up. I'm pretty tied up for the most part on camera here, Mike, but pardon my French. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a day in the fourth quarter, and that's where we're going to break them. Bills win 34-24. Ball game. Josh Allen goes off. He throws for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think Gabe Davis goes for over 100 yards. Stephon Diggs gives Jalen Ramsey the toughest day he's ever had. Goes for 9 catches, a measly 91 yards, and a touchdown. And Gabe Davis, as I mentioned, goes for over 100. And Von Miller, 1.5 sacks. And I'm not just being a homer here. I think this is where we win games. Good teams win games in the fourth quarter. Good teams finish. That's my prediction. I love it.
I love it. I love it. That's why I let you go last when we give the predictions. Absolutely fantastic. I do want to mention, you mentioned Jalen Ramsey, right? So Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the league. I felt he got a little exposed in the Super Bowl, but when he played Diggs in 2020, Diggs went off not off. He had 4 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. And also Jalen Ramsey, he has this famous quote that I always see popping up on social media. What did he say about Josh Allen? Josh Allen is trash.
He did.
Right? Did he say that?
He sure did.
All right. And then I saw something. I saw something in that after that game where somebody, Josh Allen like signing, am I still trash? So there's always going to be that incentive for Josh Allen to prove Jalen Ramsey wrong. And again, you guys have it a little bit more comfortable. I mean, Jake, you're going to have me sweating it out through the third. So I'm going to be super nervous, but the fourth quarter I can rest at ease.
That's right. And if you're not sweating from the heat out there, Mike, then you'll be sweating during the game because you'll just be so honed in and just fired up.
So I'm going to ask you guys, Buffalo, are you ready? Nickel City Mafia, are you ready? Let's go. Here's where we're going to have a little fun right now. So all of you that hung out with us this long, greatly appreciate it. I see a lot of folks still on the channel. I see 12 currently watching. Now, here's your opportunity. I said this early on. If you stayed with us to the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get a guaranteed entry on the final wheel that we spin. If you saw our last giveaway, you saw how that works. There were some shows that gave some guaranteed entries. So I'm going to ask you guys now, put any comment. As of right now, it is 6:56. Put some comments out there, and we're going to see if we can stump Jake on some trivia. If Jake can get the answer to this trivia question within the first 3 clues, all of you that have commented, as of now, will get a guaranteed entry. If he doesn't, I'm sorry, you don't get that guaranteed entry. But leave a comment in the comments section, and you could potentially get an entry. So, Jake.
Okay, here we go.
What we always use, who's the man from Buffalo Bills, I highly recommend this. Maybe they see this and they can reach out to me. But this is fantastic. It's all about the Bills. It could be players, it could be coaches, it could be GMs. So here we go. I'm going to randomly pick.
Wow.
Tim, right? And James.
My heart's
I don't
racing
know.
a little bit.
First of all, Jake, I need you to click over there on the right to see the private comments. I do not want anyone helping you in the channel.
You got it.
All right.
Private chat. All right. I'm clicked on private chat, so I can't
don't want
see.
you seeing any comments here. So let's see if I've asked you this before, I'm gonna. All right. I have not asked this before, and I love it. It's a tough one. Every one of these are tough.
Jeepers. Here
There's
we go.
no gimmies, but maybe not for you. Maybe not.
Okay.
I'll say this much. All right. Here we go. First clue. Picked by the Seattle Seahawks in the third round of the 1982 NFL Draft.
Jeepers.
Oh, this is Jake's weakness. He struggles at those 80s,
The 80s
90s
players, man. You
questions.
got to stop with the 80s players. Jeez, I'm thinking, you're talking 80s Seattle's players. I'm thinking Kurt Warner, the running back, C-U-R-T, Kurt Warner. So he was picked by the Seahawks in 82. Ooh.
We have people in the live chat saying, "Jake, don't screw this up." Zach's like, "I hope this is a Brian Mormon question." Ryan Inge,
Love Brian Mormon.
I like your prediction there. So first clue, here we go. Picked by the Seattle Seahawks in the third round of the 1982 NFL Draft. Now,
Wow.
I'm watching Jake, making sure he's not texting or using
Yeah, no,
Google
I'm
to
not.
look this
Listen,
up. We got to
I'm
see
playing
the
with my
hands.
ring. Playing with my ring.
All right. Remember, you don't have to guess it right now. You have 3 clues. So let's bring in the second clue.
Okay, give me another.
Because
Give
you're
me another.
good until the third clue. All right. Played 16 NFL seasons with the Seahawks, Bills, Panthers, and Lions.
Wow. Played 16 years.
James, any clue to you? Anything yet?
Not yet on this one.
Seahawks? You said Seahawks?
Yes, I said Seahawks, Bills, Panthers, and Lions.
16 years. 16 seasons. So we're talking he retired in 99.
Yeah, if he was, yeah. 98, 99, yeah. So 99 is he didn't play in 98. He retired at the end of 98.
Okay. Finished his career as a Lion.
Pressure's on. The folks are losing
Wow.
faith in the channel. They are
No, it's
losing.
not good. This is
they're
really
losing
not
faith.
good.
All right, we'll go to the third, and we'll give you time. I'll repeat them again here.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
caught the first touchdown pass in Carolina Panthers franchise history.
Jeepers.
So let me repeat one more time. The fans are getting anxious here. Picked by the Seattle Seahawks in the third round in the 1982 NFL Draft. Played 16 NFL seasons with the Seahawks, Bills, Panthers,
Usually the
and
long-term
Lions.
players, too.
And caught the first touchdown pass in Carolina Panthers franchise history.
Okay.
So the Carolina Panthers were, they were
96 they came in.
Right.
In fact, I have a Jaguars trash can behind me from their inaugural season of a logo that was never even used before, Mike. It's a trash can, which is hilarious, the Jags being trash. Talk about Jalen Ramsey calling Josh Allen trash. I believe he called him trash when he was with the Jags. Okay. I'm
Listen to Zach. He says, "I can't believe I'm up past 10 for Jake to get stumped."
this is 2 times in a row now. This would be 2 times in a row. Hold on. I'm just thinking of some players here. I mean, some notable Panthers. Wesley Walls should be in Hall of Fame. Did not play for the Bills.
By the way, you can't see the channel. I know that right now. But does anyone in the channel have an idea who this is? Please throw it out there. Jake cannot see it right now.
Everybody seems to be pretty stumped by this one.
Not Bill Brooks. Not Patrick. You know what? 1 year wonder. Patrick Jeffries.
We got 2 more. too young of a group here, which is good.
No, Mike. You listen.
got
If you're a
too
true
young.
Bills fan, you should know this trivia. And hold on. I'm just thinking some names right now. I'm just thinking of some names.
Oh, Brian Label, got it.
Pete, was it Pete? No, not Pete Metzlars. Is it a tight end?
Go with your gut, Jake. Come on.
Brian Label, man. He almost got it last time, too.
It helps when you've been the offensive coordinator for the Bills. You have to learn the history.
You got to know the history.
So Brian Label's going to know Brian Label / Dable. He's just going to know everything. You got this, Jake. Come on, man. I know you got this.
Drafted by Seattle in '83, played with the Bills, then played with the Panthers, and then finished his career as a Lion. And he caught a touchdown pass. I'm assuming it's a receiver or a tight end. Caught the first touchdown in Carolina Panthers history. Oh, man.
Kevin Chalker's out there trying to give you clues. Remember, Jake cannot.
I can't see the chat. I am
right
not
now.
looking. Yep. I don't have anything in the chat.
I'm gonna use one of their clues here, and still we're feeling good. First of all, thank you to Gorilla Garage Gear. I think we need to thank them for that amazing giveaway. So I think I need to give you at least one more clue.
I don't like it though, Mike.
Do you not like it?
I don't like the extra clues.
It's
means,
late on the East Coast. Some people got to get some sleep because we're going to be up super late tomorrow.
No excuse. There's zero excuse. I'm thinking here.
Do you want to phone a friend? We do have a phone a friend option.
No,
I'll let you call your dad.
I got to get this here. I have to.
Why don't you call Kevin Chalker? That'll be your phone a friend. And Kevin, what's your number? Send it.
Brian Label.
Let Jake give you a call.
With the
Brian Label as well. There. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would give it away.
This is killing me, man. I'm just thinking about this here. It's 83, and I'm thinking of Panthers players. So from that inaugural franchise.
Hey, Kara, good to see you out there. Go Bills. Oh, look at Brian Label. He's not giving you the area code, but he's giving you a number there. You can phone a friend, Jake. This is serious stuff.
No.
This is for the guys in the channel and the girls.
What's his number though?
8675309. You guys, you know that song, right, Jake? Please tell me you know that song.
Is it Pete Metzlars? I feel like it's Pete Metzlars.
Is that your final answer?
I feel like it is. I said him earlier. I want to say I think he was drafted by Seattle. I'm pretty sure he was drafted by Seattle, and he came to Buffalo. I just can't remember if it. And
I'm being Regis Philbin right now. If you ever watched that show, I'm being Regis. Is that your final answer?
I said it was Pete Metzlars. I don't really have any other thoughts on this because I believe. Oh man, this is killing me. I really think it is. But I don't want to say it officially, but I'm like 90% certain it is.
It's better than 90% is pretty damn good.
Oh man, this is brutal. But I really don't have anyone else. I'm gonna say Pete Metzlars. I don't like it.
You did it. You did it. Yes, Pete Metzlars. Oh my gosh.
There's some of his career, and I knew he had a long career, but some of it was fuzzy. And obviously, as a Bill, that's sort of where he started to shine, you know. Wow.
I think he's in one of the polls we put on our channel. I like who is the best.
Who's the best Bills tight end of all time? I mean, he still has the receptions record, I believe.
Yeah, amazing. Wow. So Brian Label picked up on it. You can go back to the comments and check it out. Everyone here who left a comment,
I gotta see these.
Is going to get a guaranteed entry
that's
on
so
the
funny.
wheel.
When did he get this here? Everyone's saying Frank Lofton. Reich threw him a pass.
Yep, he said Frank was the one who threw him the pass in Carolina.
A lot of James Lofton's on there. I was in college. Brian Label says he was in college. His name rhymes with sheet. That's hilarious.
So,
rhymes with Metzlar.
I'm impressed,
that's
Jake.
hilarious.
I am super impressed. You were super stumped. You mentioned Pete. I was like, oh, he's gonna get it.
Well,
I didn't
wasn't-
want to show my poker face. I was trying to keep the poker face.
Yeah.
But you got it.
Man.
Congratulations to
Circling the
everybody.
wagons, Jake.
I got to stop second guessing myself. Mike, you got in my head on the last one because you stumped me, and I didn't want to get it wrong for the fan base here. So, okay, I feel better. I feel
Congratulations.
better. Wow.
All right, everyone. So again, all of you in the channel that made comments will get a guaranteed entry. Thank you
That's
so
the
much.
comment of the day right there. Kevin Chalker.
Commitment is wrong. I love it. I love it. So I want to say thank you to everyone out in the channel. Let's go around, get real quick closing thoughts. Jake, over to you.
Boy, I'm all gassed up after that. I mean, my face is red, Mike. I had to make sure I did it for these guys here. So, boy, closing thoughts. I would say, let's not come out flat. And are you excited? I mean, we have from this week moving forward, and I know I said this a while back when preseason started, but now it's regular season. We have regular season football all the way through January. And then we have playoff football, and we got football until February, mid-February. My brother's birthday, February 12th. Holy smokes. I mean, wow. That's just exciting. I'm so pumped. I just want to run through a wall right now. It started with the intro, Mike. He got me gassed up. I was about to shotgun this beer. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I got to enjoy it a little bit and pop it open. Also, shout out to Labatt. If you want to throw us some tickets as well, not to overshadow Gorilla Garage, who are fantastic and appreciate it. But, boy, I am just so pumped. I can't wait. I am so freaking excited. I'm going to get a pizza tomorrow. Might do Picasso's, might do Bella. I don't know. We'll mess around with it a little bit, but I'm pumped. I can't wait.
I got to ask Tom. Tom, what video are you talking about out there? He says, did I miss the video? I wanted to see this. So
Is that Tom? I don't know if I know this Tom or not. It might be the Tom I work with, or it might be a different Tom. I'm not really sure. Or it's Tom Noonan, one of my buddies.
All right. Well,
Not
I
sure
don't know
which
what video. If the video played, we played all the videos we had. If you want to go back to the beginning of the show when this ends, check out. There's a couple. There's only one video, actually the opening video, and then of course the great sponsor from Gorilla Garage. So check it out. James, closing thoughts.
Just excited. Football is back in full swing. Thursday all day, Sunday, Monday nights. So, hey, what a time! What a time, and what a time to have this Bills offense rocking and rolling and learning constantly. They're not going to come out flat. I hope not. They learned from the Pittsburgh game last year. Just don't play to anybody's level. Just do your thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I will be texting while I'm at the game. We're gonna record this whole thing. I hope to put together a little video before our post game show and kind of just give you our experience getting there, meeting some fans, and then during the game. And I'll text you guys some pictures during the game.
I love it.
So,
I can't wait.
Awesome. Again, I'll ask you one last time. Buffalo, are you ready? Jake, are you ready?
So freaking ready, Mike. I am so ready. If I had a fold-out table to the right of me here, I would freaking break it. I got a coffee table here. Maybe I go through it. I don't know. I mean,
James, are you ready?
Woo!
I'm ready.
I am ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go Bills. See you guys soon.
Go Bills, baby.
Yes, let's
Bills.
go.